my channel. Today we have a very, very special day. We are going to be talking about vacuums and the reasons why I do them and how I do them so you guys can do them at home at your own leisure. So pretty much the reason why I do them is because it helps me with three different things. It helps me get a smaller waist, and I'll explain that in a little bit. It also helps me have better control for my core, and then lastly, it helps me with my digestive system. Before we get jumped into how to do them, I'm gonna go ahead and explain the anatomy behind your abs and what you're really targeting when you're doing your vacuums. So here we have Mr. Joseph demonstrating his core. So as you guys can see, we have the rectus abdominis, which are the abs that you guys pretty much see whenever you guys think of abs. So if you guys want to look at my core, these are the rectus abdominis. So it's these 6 little chicken nuggets that we see right here, okay? Next, we have your external obliques. So for the external obliques, it's gonna be these lines that come right here, okay? So that's right here where you see it on Mr. Joseph. Underneath the external obliques, we have the internal obliques, okay? So that's right underneath. So even if I decided to try to show you, you won't be able to see them just because they're underneath that muscle. Then after that, we have the transverse abdominis, which are underneath the internal obliques. So just to give you guys another quick look, if we look here, you guys can see the outer is gonna be, so right here we have your abs. This is your spine. Right here we have your external obliques, is what I showed you. And then underneath that we have your internal obliques, and then we have your transverse abdominis, and then we have your organs. So these are all muscles that are pretty much containing your lovely organs. So the transverse abdominis are pretty much the main muscle that we're going to be working with whenever we're doing our vacuums. They're so internal that they require a different type of training. So that's what we're going to be doing with the vacuums, and once again, that's going to help with that core control, with the getting that smaller waist, and with your bowel movements. So let's go ahead and get started on doing them. To get started, we are going to pretty much blow out all of our air. Like, we don't want any air in your belly. And what we want to do is we want to suck in, pretending like our belly button is going into our spine. So just like this. And what we want to do is we want to hold it in as long as we can. So I'm going to get started by also showing you guys there's different levels of difficulty for this exercise. We're going to start with the easiest one, and that one's going to be getting down and bending over and holding on to something so like that your back is bent. The more that your back is bent, the easier it gets to do the exercise. So what we're going to do here is the same thing. You want to let go of all of the air, put your belly button to your spine, and just hold as long as you can. So if you're holding for longer than 30 seconds or more, you're probably not doing it right. You probably still have air because you're not a dolphin. So make sure you guys blow out all of your air so it can be beneficial. And then one other thing too is like I like to do all 3 of these separate variations, 10 reps, 10 sets each. So 10 sets of maybe like 10 to 20 seconds, and then move on to my next one. So let's go ahead and get started with the easier one. We're gonna bend over, we're gonna put a curve in our back, and we're gonna blow out all of the air. And then we redo it again. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna lay down and we're gonna do the second variation. So same thing, this is a little bit harder. And I actually like to do this once I'm like, sometimes it gets hard to do these daily just because, one gets kind of lazy. But if you're laying in bed when you wake up and you actually even start with these, it becomes a lot easier because you're already laying in bed, you're like, okay, well, I gotta do my vacuums. So once again, you do the exact same thing when you blow out all of your air and pretend like your belly button is going into the floor. And then we repeat. And then the last one, it's gonna be the hardest one, and that's the one standing up. And then to ease into it, what you can always do is kind of bend over and then stand back up. So there's two variations to this difficulty level. The easier version is you're gonna bend over a little bit, you're gonna blow out all your air, and then you're gonna stand up. So. And then lastly, the most difficult one is just gonna be standing up, and we're gonna do, whew. Okay, so pretty much what I do is I try to do 10 sets of each one of the different variations. It takes me a good like 10 minutes or so, and I usually, once again, I do it in bed while I'm laying down, and it just makes it easy because I'm just gonna like, okay. And then usually when I do it, I usually just end up going to the bathroom anyway. So if you have digestive issues where you can't really go number 2, this helps a ton, especially when you're on prep. And Joe's trying to tell me to do this. And the reason why, okay, so I know a lot of people are gonna ask me, it's like, oh, how does this make your waist tiny, Stephanie? Well, you're training that transverse abdominis. So what it's doing is making it tighter, making your waist tighter as well, and making everything come together. So if you have that muscle control, it helps out a ton. And then it also helps with my posing. So for example, this is one of my poses that I do. As you can tell, I have like, I'm holding it in pretty well as I'm still talking. So if you're on stage for a really long time, so at some point, you know, you're not gonna be able to hold it too long, so you're gonna start breathing out, and then that's when your core kind of comes out, and we don't want that. We want the waist to look as tiny as possible. So doing vacuums really helps tighten that up. I think that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, make sure you guys hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.